Good afternoon. My name is Jim Conlan and welcome to the latest episode of our entertainment show. As you know, in part 3 each week, we premiere a new TV series or movie that is debuting in Ireland for this coming month. And up for discussion this week is a TV series that is dropping today, this evening, all across the world on January the 5th. It's a much anticipated season 2 of Ginny and Georgia. After a hugely successful season 1, it's dropping on Netflix all over the world. The renowned star Brianna Howley plays the lead role of Ginny Miller, ably well-abled by Antonia Gentry, who plays her daughter, Ginny Miller. We follow this mother-daughter relationships and all the characters that are intertwined throughout the series. And no doubt Jennifer Robertson, who plays Ellen Baker, Kate Douglas, who plays Abby, and our guest this evening, the one and only Chelsea Clark, who plays the character Norah. And first of all, Chelsea, a pleasure to have you on this evening. And I imagine it's an exciting day for you. And this past week, as I suppose, has been very busy with media opportunities, media invites, obviously, season 2 after a hugely successful season 1. How excited are you for season 2 to be dropping today?
Oh my God, I was so excited. I could not get to sleep last night. This week has been insane, but in the best way. And thank you so much for having me.
And I suppose, Chelsea, after a hugely successful season 1 of Ginny and Georgia, in terms of coming back for season 2, obviously the plots get bigger, the storylines get bolder. And for you and your character, Norah, you might enlighten our audience who mightn't have seen season 1. Can you tell us a bit about Norah and how she's intertwined in this mother-daughter relationship?
So Norah is part of the friend group that Ginny becomes absorbed with Max, Abby, Norah, and then eventually Ginny. And Norah plays a part because she is one of the core people of this group. This female friendship is just their entire world. Everything they do, they want to do it together. They want to do it with each other, and they just love each other so much. So Ginny gets absorbed into that. And then it's about all of the different dynamics of like adding in a new person and the relationships that are already established, but then also growing and becoming friends with Ginny as well.
And obviously, we know the quirkiness of Brianna Howley in terms of what she brings to the role, the sort of the Mad Hatter sort of element in terms of that mother who's capable of doing anything but is fierce, determined to protect her children at all costs, even if that means life itself. And tell me, interacting with the senior statesmen of the crew, the stateswomen, dare I say, Jennifer Robertson, Brianna Howley. What was that like for yourself and Kate Douglas and Antonia Gentry, who are, dare I say, younger actors of a younger sort of generation? Did you feel that sort of age gap at times on set, or was it very much a sister type relationship?
Oh my gosh, no, not at all. The wonderful thing about those two specifically, about Brianna and about Jen, is that they're so welcoming and they're such a great example of what it is to be like a woman on set. And every day, like, because a lot of our scenes, unless we were in scenes together, we wouldn't overlap on days. So this days that we would be together, we would all be in the green room, like having conversations. They would be asking about like what our lives are looking like and just giving wonderful advice, but also just support in anything that we wanted to talk about. So if anything, they were some of the biggest inspirations on the show. And to see like Jen, who was in so many of my like childhood like shows and movies, I was just so ecstatic to be able to work with her. And Brianne is just such a force to be reckoned with, and to be able to see her like really rise to the challenge of being a lead was just so wonderful to watch, and such an inspiration for what I hope to be as well.
And Chelsea, can you tell us a bit about your character, Norah? Is she a bit of a wild child? Is she a bit out there? Is she the calm, the intelligent one who brings that sort of sensibility to the group, or is she a bit of an outcast, dare I say, or a bookworm, or what type of a character is Norah within this sort of series? What's Norah's role within Ginny and Georgia and Ginny?
Norah is definitely the sensible one, but to a certain degree. She'll lie to her parents to make sure that they think that she's just going over for like a fun sleepover, when in actuality, she's invited her boyfriend. They're all drinking, they're all having a good time. So Norah knows how to have a good time, but she's definitely the one to be a little bit more hesitant to things that could get them into a lot of trouble, because she wants to make sure that everybody's okay. So she's sensible, but she can party.
And Chelsea, in terms of season 2, in terms of the shoot, what was the production like for that? Was it a sort of a 2 months shoot in terms of season 2? Was it longer in terms of Vancouver? And did you do an awful lot of block shooting where what scenes for multiple episodes were shot at a time, or was it very much a case of every episode had its beginning, middle, and ending, and you wouldn't know the plot or the script for the next episode until one was wrapped up?
It was a little bit of a mix of everything. We definitely didn't get the episodes. The episodes were rolling out as we were filming, so we were following along with the storyline as we were shooting it, which was kind of really fun. That's how we did season 1 as well. The shoot was it's a pretty decent shoot. It's a 6-month shoot, and we did it over Canadian winter. So everybody who was not from Toronto did not really understand what that meant. And we also had like a bunch of snowstorms. So everybody really got a full winter experience when they came. And then we did a little bit of block shooting, but mainly we would follow the episode arcs to kind of keep everybody in check.
And as a cast, did you get to spend much time together outside of shooting, in terms of maybe was it very much a case of when shooting was done, you went home every evening to your own homes? Was it very much a close knit, or was the cast coming from different parts of the Canada and the States, that you were all sort of put up in one sort of area that was good interaction between you, dare I say, when the lights went out in terms of set?
I wish we could have hung out more. Season 1, we were able to do that a lot, but season 2, we were filming during one of the lockdowns for COVID. So we really didn't get a lot of time to interact with each other because we had to be really, really careful. But since we finished shooting, and since a bunch of us have been to LA and back, or just people have come back to Toronto and visited, we've been able to see each other a lot more. So I definitely think that element was very missed in the second season. I know a lot of us really wish we could have been able to talk offset and just kind of decompress, because that really was just such a wonderful part of being able to film together. Because on set, it's all work, but you really want to be able to kind of decompress with the people that you just finished work with. So that was definitely something that was missed, but usually we would if we could.
And I know, Chelsea Clark, you visited our shores here in Ireland once in the past. What were your sort of memories of that in terms of that trip? I know it was short-lived, but did you get to see the sights and behold, and maybe drink a pint of Guinness, dare I say?
Oh, well, so I went to Dublin because I was coming back from a trip that I had done for dragon boating. And so I had done the competition in Hungary, and then my friend and I had made our way back through back west through Europe. And then I met back up with my team in Dublin to fly back home. So we were definitely at the end of our trip when we got to Dublin. We did a walk around the city. So we got to see St. Patrick's, I think, is the church. And then funnily enough, we ran into a bunch of my friend's classmates on a bus in Dublin who were not there for like any of the same reasons. So Dublin holds a special place in my heart. Definitely want to go back where I have more than just 24 hours and like not sleep exhaustion. But it was definitely a good trip.
And Chelsea Clark, for the final 30 seconds now, I might turn it over to you, and you might enlighten all our audience and listeners why they should tune in en masse today, this evening, in terms of Ginny and Georgia season 2 sort of debut. And obviously when this goes out in air, obviously people will be able to get to see it firsthand, all the episodes. What's in store for them in season 2? Over to you, Chelsea Clark, to finish us out.
Season 2 of Ginny and Georgia is going to be extremely exciting. I think a lot of the conflicts that we had in season 1, people are going to want to see how they come to a head and how they kind of resolve themselves, if they do. So I think it's a really exciting season to kind of see how all of the characters are growing. And, you know, it takes place 5 days after season 1. So you really pick up where we left off. And I think that in itself is super exciting for a second season. So please tune in today. We're super excited. I'm so happy that it's finally coming out. And thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us, Chelsea Clark. Just about to say Georgia in terms of Ginny, so that's how much it's on the mind at the moment in terms of that. Obviously, Georgia and Ginny are going to be a very successful season 2. For me, Jim Conlan, an absolute pleasure talking to you, Chelsea Clark, today on the airways. We wish you all the best, prosperous 23. No doubt, many more projects in the pipeline that we'll get to see in the near future, and hopefully, please God, we get to speak to you sometime near soon, and hopefully you'll have more than 24 hours stay in Ireland the next time you do visit us. But for the moment, Chelsea Clark, stay safe, take care, and God bless.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you. Take care, Chelsea.
Thank you. Thank you so much.